The first mistake that I see in QuickBooks is leaving things uncategorized. So this would be uncategorized income, uncategorized expenses, uncategorized assets. Everything needs to have a home. There's no reason anything in your book should be uncategorized. So typically where you're going to see if you're making this mistake is when you look at your profit and loss or your balance sheet. So let's take a look. Your profit and loss sheet here. So we're looking at a profit and loss for this sample business. Right here, uncategorized income of $55. Now, they also have uncategorized expenses right here for $28.38. And sometimes this is really a small amount. Sometimes it's a really large amount because it's adding many different uncategorized expenses or incomes together. But regardless, it needs to be cleared up. So let's take a look at where you would be able to see what transactions it's pulling. You can click right here on the number, or if you were on this uncategorized income, you could just click on in this case, it's the $55 and see what's creating this amount. It might be one transaction, it might be two, it might be 10. So we see here that this is uncategorized income. It's only one transaction that's creating this. The $55 is what we saw. This is $55, one transaction. We're going to click on it and we're going to correct it. We are going to assign where this income should be. Again, nothing should be uncategorized. So once this loads, we are going to pick our income. So we will pick here, we'll drop down, we'll change this from uncategorized to whatever type of income we think this might be. So maybe this was a service that they provided. Again, this is a sample company. So whatever it should be for your business is where it should be categorized. Then you will move over here on the green button and hit save and close. Now, the other place that we see things that are uncategorized is in the balance sheet. So assets sometimes get uncategorized too, and we are going to talk about why. So if you are in your reports here, you're in your report section and you go to your balance sheet, and your balance sheet is what's recording all of the assets, the liabilities, and the equity of your business, you might see this uncategorized asset. Again, nothing can be uncategorized. So let's take a look and see if we see that here. So we see here the different assets of the business, the checking, the savings, and the accounts receivable. And right here, uncategorized asset. So we see here that it is just one transaction for that $694. Just like we did for the income, you're going to click on this transaction and you're going to categorize it appropriately. We do not have uncategorized assets. That's not something that you want to have in your business books. But let's take a look at why this typically happens so that you can also prevent it from happening in the future. So typically when you are in your banking feed for QuickBooks, a lot of people forget that QuickBooks is just making a best guess. It doesn't know your business. So if you're always ordering supplies from Amazon, it might be guessing that. But sometimes what QuickBooks will do is just say uncategorized income, uncategorized expense, uncategorized assets. And we're busy. So when we're in here, we might see, oh yes, this was a rental. I did get that money from them. And you just hit add. And you're not thinking that you need to go in and actually fix this. So this is typically where this happens. And it happens to a lot of business owners. Sometimes if I'm not really tracking things meticulously in my books and I'm rushing, in the past, it's happened to me. So you want to make sure that you come in and click on this, expand it out, and select the account that it should be for. What income is this for? Is it a service you provided? Is it a product? If you have things broken down more granular than that, what is the income for? So don't let it become uncategorized from the very beginning, and then you're not going to have any uncategorized income, expenses, or assets. So this is typically why you end up seeing these land there, but make sure to go into your profit and loss sheet. You're going to look at your income, make sure you have no uncategorized income, look at your expenses, make sure you have no uncategorized expenses, then go into that balance sheet and make sure that you have no uncategorized assets. And once you do that, this mistake we can leave in the past.